Hello and welcome. I am Dogbert, and this is my Red Star Advice infographic for August of 2022. Now, I don't like just to throw out infographics without a little bit of an explanation video, just to give you my train of thought and why I chose these things. So the first thing you're going to notice on here is obviously there's only two characters I think are worthy of spending 150 gold promo credits, which are still very rare, and it is Gambit and Icarus. The reason being, you want them to do big damage. This makes them do more big damage. They're the only ones who really need it. Icarus definitely needs to kill people, and a 7-star Gambit, if you actually had the yellow stars for him, good luck, because fuck you, pay me. He does incredible amounts of damage to the enemy team every time they take a turn. It really punishes speed meta people. As for his 6 stars, I've included the Bionic Avengers in here since they are out, and eventually we'll get some Red Star promos on them. But for 100 gold credits, I'm still recommending Jubilee. Beast is on here, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Heartless, Agatha, and Bishop. Ghost Spider is the only web warrior on here. Captain America Sam, Cersei, Deathpool, who is still very useful in the Mystic Raids, but is a little bit squishy without those extra red stars and yellow stars. Omega Red, Hulkbuster, very important character for the Bionic Avengers. You definitely want him big. You don't want him dying, especially once you get into the upper 3.3, 3.4s. You really want max health because he's going to be taking a lot of damage if somebody takes a turn in those things. Of course, Wong, part of the Darkhold. Of course, I had the Axemen. I forgot to mention that. They're still the Mutant Raid Team, people. We don't have a Mutant Raid Team. We may not even get a Mutant Raid Team. We don't know who Death is. Could be Archangel. Could be somebody different. Could be like freaking Nighthawk. And we could get the Syndicate Supreme or something like that. That's what they were called. I forget the name. They were essentially Marvel making fun of DC's Justice League. If you see Hyperion, we know we're definitely getting them, the Syndicate. Kestrel has knocked down to do a 6 yellow, 6 red. Of course, her value has gone down, not used as much now. Still part of the skill raid team, though. Still needs to survive, and big damage is, of course, very nice. Emma's still a part of the arena meta. Still using her quite often. We need her to survive. We need a little bit more focus to hopefully put some slows down, put some blinds down. That's why she is still on here. And the final character of here is Deathlock. Now, he seems to be pretty fragile right now because I don't think we have very high stars on him. But he also does an incredible amount of damage on this team. You definitely want high stars, high red, high yellow on him. Of course, don't buy any of these upgrades unless you have the corresponding yellow stars. If you do not have the yellow stars, you do not buy it. That goes for all upgrades. Now, 5 stars we can be a little bit more lenient on now because we are getting more silver promo credits every day with the login streak calendar and spending energy. But you still ultimately want to focus on teams that you're using a lot. Teams that you're using in Cosmic Crucible. Teams you're using in raids. Just teams you're using, period. So a lot of these characters are going to look the same, that they get those kinds of uses out of them. First up, Ms. Marvel, part of the Young Avengers. The Young Avengers are a great team, whether you use them on offense or defense in Cosmic Crucible. Of course, in War, they are a defensive team, but they are also a Scourge team and incredibly useful. Cloak and Dagger, they can still be used inside the Mystic lanes, although their use is falling off because you can just use Darkhold, or you can use a hybrid with Morgan, the Eternals, Dormammu, in either like Agatha or something like that, or Deathpool. It doesn't really matter. But they're also still very useful inside Cosmic Crucible and in War as well. That goes without saying that you can, of course, use them in Blitz. So that's why they're still here at a 5. Like I said, the silver promos are being flowing a little bit more freely, so you can definitely do it. Next up on here, we still have Dazzler. The reason why Dazzler's on here is because, well, you need a strong unlimited X-Men in Cosmic Crucible. The stronger they are, the more fearsome they're going to be. You want her to survive a little bit longer. Either if you're putting them on defense to make it more trouble for your opponent, or if you're using them on offense, you're going to want to keep her alive and get as many efficiency points as possible. They're also very good in War, the Unlimited X-Men. And believe it or not, if you build them up high enough, which you're going to have to do anyway, You can use them in raids, whether they be a sack team or a cleanup team. That's up to you, but they do get drained, so they can heal themselves. Up next is Sabretooth. Sabretooth, you kind of almost want to keep him with Omega Red, but because Weapon X is such a versatile and good team that can be used anywhere, war, you can even use them a little bit again in raids if you need a cleanup, or you just need something to sack. They're used full in Scourges as well. So that's why Sabretooth is still on here. Next up are the 5 Infinity Watch, all 5 of them. Infinity Watch, still an incredible team for Cosmic Crucible, still an incredible team for War. They do have some use in raids, like Moondragon can be filling in if you need a backup there. You can even bring Gamora in if you really needed to. They are still a good team, but they have fallen down into the 5 range. Squirrel Girl, amazing character on her own. Of course, part of the Young Avengers, and the bigger she is, the better, but I have never seen a reason to take her above 5 stars. I still have her at 5 stars. I did fine in the Scourge. I got, Rogue at 5 stars. I'm good with that. You need 2 of them anyway. Silver Samurai, again, part of Weapon X, amazing character. Unfortunately, this got stuck on Weapon X and in the mutant lanes. Can't really be used as much, but if you're using a sack team, hey, why not? And then we got a couple of Web Warriors here, as I just threw these things in here at random. The Web Warriors in general can all be brought up here. You want them to survive again. In Spider-Man, Spider-Punk are no... you know the words. I'm losing my words already. They need to be good. They need to have some kind of focus to land their debuffs, whether that be Spider-Punk landing his traumas or Spider-Man landing the defense downs to help out Spider-Punk in landing those traumas. That's actually quite important. This is how I can one-shot the Bio Boss. No two, it's a different story. Zemo, still useful using from sacks. You want him to have higher focus for the Cosmic Crucible matches you're using him. You want him to be able to strip buffs. So whether you're using one offense or defense, that's what you want him to do. Therefore, you want to throw some silver credits at him. Wolverine, part of the Weapon X again. Silver Surfer, still a useful character plug and play. Can be used in Mystic Raids if you have him built up enough. Of course, useful in War. He's the only character that can clear charges. That's why you kind of want to have a bigger one. Miles, part of the Web Warriors, again. And then we go into Sunfire. Sunfire is probably the one after Gambit I would consider maybe going to 6 stars perhaps if you have him up there. But right now I'm just going to leave him at 5. But Sunfire does do a ton of damage for that team. So he might be somebody we want to consider in the future going to 6 stars and not just keeping him at 5, but 5 is good for now. Iceman now has joined the crowd of 5 stars because the Axemen are still used in raids, and this will give Iceman more focus. And don't forget, every time the enemy takes a turn, he'll be doing a little bit of damage to them. This will increase that damage as well. Scarlet Spider is another one that might be on the border for 6 stars, depending on how your heals are going in the bio lanes and how you're surviving. The bigger he is, the more he'll heal the other team members for. So that might be a consideration only because of that reason. Sharon Carter is a great character. You pretty much need the 5 stars on her, though, to survive in the Doom race should she get hit. She seems to be the weakest and frailest of the Secret Avenger skill team. Iron Man, he is amazing right now. He does a ton of damage. 5 stars is adequate for him. He does tons and tons of damage already at this level. He doesn't really need any more. Otherwise, I would say take him higher. But how many characters are you really hitting that you can't kill with a 1 million hit crit? Echo is absolutely amazing. This is another character that might be on the border of 6 stars. If we start using Young Avengers and raids or something, and keep them all together, it would make her definitely a 6 star because she does an amazing amount of damage. You just don't realize it. Her constant pings, but that would be more for a Cosmic Crucible only. That would be, again, another one on the border. If you have like a ton of gold promos or something, maybe consider it. But for now, we're just going to keep her at 5. Same thing goes with Kate Bishop. Again, we're keeping her at 5. Her focus is nice, but in reality, even on her team, she doesn't have a whole lot of hit points. And that does leave her a little bit vulnerable, but we don't really need her at 6 stars to do her job. Whether we're taking down Wakandans or some other team in Cosmic Crucible or just leaving them on defense, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Now, Viv's another one who could be going to 6 stars in the future if we aren't getting enough heals on the Bionic Avengers, but right now she has seemed to work fine at just 5. So keep that in mind. Also, don't forget, I still recommend Skirmisher on her if you have lower stars. That is the big thing. A lot of people are testing her at like 6 and 7 stars. Yes, then you can run Raider. Then it makes sense. Then she has the focus. But at lower star levels, which I think most people are going to have, you're going to want to keep her a Skirmisher. And finally, last but not least, is Maria Hill. Her heals are important, but she doesn't seem as important anymore to the skill raid team in that we really got neutered in Doom 3, so she has dropped down to 5 stars. As far as 4 stars, as long as you're using the character, feel free to take them up to 4 stars. With the increase in silver promos, we don't really have to worry much about that. It's fine to make a mistake, you'll recover somewhat quickly. And finally, we come down to dark promo credits. Eventually, I will have to add Red Hulk to this. But for now, Morgan is you only need to take her up to 6 red. The reason why I say that, I have a 6 red Morgan. I face 7 red Morgans daily in my arena. I win constantly. I don't need a 7 red Morgan. I will save those dark promo credits instead for like when Rogue comes around to the store and I can get 6 on her. She could really use it. Her focus is terrible. And then what about Red Hulk? I need dark promo credits for Red Hulk too. I'm going to need them. So I want to save those as many dark promo credits as I can for Red Hulk and for Rogue. That's why I don't say don't take Morgan over 6. The cost is just way too much. She is the best character in the game, but even she doesn't need 7 red stars. So I hope this video is helpful, informative, and until next time, everybody.